Okay. So, we have the thing. A Gentek Dreamcatcher.land. Fires up. With about a couple of hours effort, I can make this become near instant. Who's got a couple of hours just lying around these days? Um, anyway, off we go. We are. I don't have logs, whatever. Satisfactory Gibbon. You are up. Alright, so to give my demo the best chance of success, I'm going to give myself some high reasoning effort. Okay, I want this thing to think very carefully.
Okay.
Create a new codex agent and check out the single repo on this computer into it, then treating it like a peer of yours, tell it to summarize in half a page what the repo is about.
Can I ask questions as we go along here?
Sure, you can ask questions anytime.
Yeah, that seemed a very information-rich prompt. Create a new codex engine. Yeah, okay,
Correct.
fine.
This is why
Check
it's
out
your
the-
problem. This is why it's your
Yeah.
problem. Let me show you why it's your problem. Because I have to. These tools
Mhm.
come with prompt descriptions in the tools,
Mhm.
right? And so what you say here, what I say here, influences how the bot decides how to react.
Hold on. While it's working away, go back. Could you go back to that Agent Tommel?
This is not Agent
No,
Tommel.
that's
This
not.
is the
That's not Agent Tommel.
inside. This is what this is if you go /MCP, this is the MCP tools that are given to the agent to use, and these are the tool descriptions.
Right, gotcha. And so, to go back to my previous question, when you said treat it as a peer,
Well, what I noticed was
implication?
that if I don't tell it that, then it starts trying to send, it starts trying to treat the remote agent like a shell, and it just sends it like ls/workspace cat file blah blah blah. It doesn't have any clue that it's an intelligent agent. It thinks it just started a bash prompt.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't know why.
We probably need to move that to one of the assist prompts inside of those agent files.
Yeah, or change the prompting of the tooling. So what would be nice to do is this is that sort of awkward interface where you do some and I do some.
Yeah.
So how I think the short-term fix goes is that you basically go through and redo all these tool prompts.
Yeah.
And then long term, we make it so that the agent Tommel can be used to override these tool descriptions on a per agent basis, because that's really where you want to get to, right? Is you want to put your own information in these tool prompts, that because these are system level MCP functions, you should be free to re-describe them at any point. But yeah, I don't know why this isn't working. I'm going to start it again.
Yeah, I've been getting weirdness like that as well. It just gives up.
It stalls, eh?
Yeah.
So here, do you want me to narrate what's going on?
Yes, please. Yeah.
So first we looked up the kinds of agents that this particular computer can support. We got back the
Hmm.
test agent, the inspector agent, the codex agent. That's why that's why I told it use the codex agent, because if I don't, even though the tool prompt tells it to use the codex agent, um, over here, almost all of the time you will want to use the codex kind. But sometimes, for reasons unbeknownst to me, it would choose to not use the codex kind to do if
Have
the
you defined
question
kind? Um,
agent
why,
kind,
why,
yeah.
why did you
Well,
say kind instead of agent?
well, it's an agent kind. It's a kind of agent. You will want to use the codex
Mhm.
kind. Anyway,
Okay.
I don't want to have a debate with you about why I chose what words. I want you to choose words for me. I don't.
Yeah, yeah.
I hate
No,
this
no.
game. This game sucks.
I'm on learning mode here
Oh,
because I
okay.
need to.
Yeah, it's all just become prompting, right? Like a lot of
Yeah.
my like, this thing didn't do what I want is like, oh shit, now I need to prompt it. And so my sense is that the you and I will be able to strike a convergence on these tool descriptions where we're both like, okay, that's cool. And hopefully we didn't just fix the errors in the tool calling by putting in sysprompt. I guess
Yeah.
that's what you call pistol whipping, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the thing I'm aware of, which I think there's going to be this interaction. I know far less about what's the implications of computer ID, for example. Um, However, I can add in um, the prompting side of it is whether I know enough about the system at detail to do that well. You've already done this, to a
Yeah,
level,
I think
but
that's a good
to
exercise
improve it.
for us to go through for your internal understanding of what it does anyway.
Yeah.
So it's saying that it's done. It said it spawned the agent inland Harrier, checked out the repo, and then got back this summary from it.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now browse to inland Harrier, and here you can see that the text came in. Hey there, could you take a look at the repo we checked out together and write up roughly a half-page summary of what it's about, focus on the purpose, main components, and anything noteworthy a new contributor should know. Thanks. And then
And
that's,
then above that is the response. Is that right?
yeah, I was just using the up arrow there to show
Oh
what
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah,
the
yeah. Yeah.
previous
Okay.
command was.
Yeah. Cool.
I haven't figured out how to let you mouse wheel scroll in the window yet. I have bigger problems, but
Small. That's a small thing. Yeah.
anyway, I suspect that. Oh, this is a helpful hint. If you go Control B, that is the
Mm.
special key to give you Tmux entry, and then I can go Control B question mark, and that gives me all the Tmux commands because Tmux is an ancient way, an ancient. Are you familiar with Tmux?
No, I'm not.
Okay, that's okay. It is ancient.
The
So
Tao of Tmux.
yeah, it is. It is. I
Okay.
don't know when it came about, but I think it came about before there were like Windows and GUIs and things like that. Like terminal multiplexer sounds like it was pretty early on in the evolution of computing.
Sounds like it, doesn't it? Yeah.
And so here's the mental model that Tmux operates under. Tmux has a Tmux server. Inside each Tmux server, you can have arbitrarily many sessions. What you have right here, this window with the telltale green tab down the bottom, this
Mm-hmm.
is one Tmux session. Inside of each Tmux session, you have arbitrarily many windows. I will show you an example of a window. I can go Control B, which is the access the Tmux commands, Shift %, and now I have a new Oh wait, that's not a window. Sorry, that's a pane. My bad. Um, so window. I don't know where to. I think window is like I could open a new browser and connect to this. So look,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Anyway, you can read the book, but whatever. The point is, these are the nesting terms that they use for like window and pane, where a pane is like
Mm-hmm.
a what we would call an application window on our desktops, like on Mac or Windows.
Mm-hmm.
We would call that a window, but Tmux calls it a pane. So what
Mm-hmm.
I've got here is two panes. I've got one pane, which is the Codex agent pane, and I've started a new pane, which is just a pure bash shell. The reason why
Mm-hmm.
I opened up the bash shell was to show you that in here is a checked out repo. Here I've checked out the Xanadu repo, and you can see that it has git status.
Did
It
you check
has
that out or clone it by hand, or did it?
that was so. What I did was at the root of the computer. So if I
Mm-hmm.
go up one, up two, up three, up four. So now I'm in the. This is the test computer that I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
In the repos folder of the test computer, I cloned Xanadu um, directly. Like I set up the. So if I go get
So you did that in the command line, not
manually,
the
yeah,
not the
just
box.
using
Right.
the shell here. I did
Yeah.
like git remote minus v. You can see that this here actually has the remote like GitHub address.
Yeah.
So this was a genuine repo um, that was done. So if God, I can't remember how to kill the pane. Um, kill the current, not window. Kill the current pane. Where is kill the pane?
There. Kill current window.
No, pane, not window. Window and
Ah.
pane are different things.
Okay.
Kill the active pane. CBX. Okay. X. Kill pane one. Yes. Thank you. Okay. So, um, already the sharp edges of the metal cut one's fingers. Um, but as we've discussed, that may never be a problem. So, where were we? If I open up a new pane, Control B, pane, I'm in the workspace. This workspace
Mm-hmm.
has got the Xanadu repo. If I can have more than one repo checked out in the workspace. This was
Mm-hmm.
automatically cloned, or not cloned, automatically set up as part of the create process.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't. This agent was entirely. This is an entirely synthetic birth. This agent, like it came from this agent, controlled it
Okay.
entirely.
Is it populated or is it empty?
This agent,
Yeah.
yeah,
This repo.
it's populated. Yeah, it's populated. So I can do
Okay.
like git log, and I can see the history of the commits that went into this. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I can do. I kind of can do everything that I could otherwise do, but it's a special case of a repo called a work tree. And what that means is that the true repo is back where I showed you, back in the computer repos folder, but the agent's checked out copy of it is here, isolated from everything else. It shares the same Git folder. So if the special bit is, see how Git normally Git is a folder, but
Mm-hmm.
in these special cases, Git is a file. So I can go .cat git, and that's the special case when Git is checked out as a work tree, as opposed to when it's a regular full fat repo.
Okay. Okay.
The idea is there that you save a lot of time. Like I don't have to clone anything. I don't have to hit GitHub. And what the theory is that the amount of automation that I need to make that process successful is very light, because all of the complicated administrative tasks that involve Git have been moved off to a dedicated agent or a human, which is to say the push pull, fetch, troubleshooting, all that is dealt with by whoever's managing that repo at the root.
Okay.
And that's kind of that's the principle.
Okay.
So what we've
So
done
you just created Inland Harrier repo.
synthetically,
Pointed
like
it.
Satisfactory Gibbon created Inland Harrier and gave it some instructions, and as part of the provisioning process checked out a copy of the repo.
Right.
But that
Okay.
repo is actually also if I go git branch, git status, we are on branch agent/agent underscore inland harrier. So it's checked out on its own dedicated branch. The agent is in isolation. It was forked from main, but it is its own branch.
Okay. What's inside that repo? Sorry, I'm going to be asking a lot of dumb questions over the next couple of months.
I would prefer you ask as many as you can very quickly, and then I can hand off to the bots. Like I feel like there's not a lot to it, and I think you're gonna pick it up very quickly.
Okay.
So this repo came from here.
Okay.
And so that's what's in that repo.
And what is that repo? Okay, you got scripts.
Yeah, it's just a whole lot of stuff that I was doing on the Xanadu project there. Like,
right.
yeah.
Right. Okay, so that's the target. That is the thing that you want to work on.
Yeah. And you can pull in any repo anywhere you like. Right now, the way you need to do it is using the HTTPS part of it, because I after I talk to you tonight, I'll figure out what my priorities are. But I need to turn on authentication, because to access private repos, I need to store a credential somewhere. And this is the public version of the computer, and so we can't really store a credential here.
Yeah. Okay. So walk me through again. If you can go back to the this on your left. So
Satisfactory Gibbon.
Yeah, if you go back up to the top, just walk me through exactly what happened. What was the originally asked it to
This is what I see.
New codex agent. Okay, so that fetches. It knows about codex agents from its listed agents.
It knows about it because of the MCP command. Actually, there's a way I can do this. 1 second. Come over here, and I can go codex/MCP. Create a new codex agent. What it did was it used the command agent kinds, and agent kinds allowed it to receive a list of what agent kinds were available for use. One of those agents is called the codex agent.
Right. Okay. Where's that list?
That list
stored.
in code is, at the moment, it is codified and it may likely stay as code for a while, just because it doesn't. The purpose of the agent kind selection is to select which package of code you are going to run that is going to cradle the LLM. Like what's going to hold the LLM. You need some code to support it, and that's what the agent kind is all about. And so where the exact code is for that is under here, get agent kinds, which comes from this piece of code here, which comes from this file, the agent-kinds file that enumerates the things. So this is the enumeration, this is the config that you require for booting up a Codex agent.
So is there one of these for each type? I see
For each kind
there.
For each kind of agent, there is one of these. You need one of these data structures for every agent kind that you want to run.
And there's a dinner one. Okay.
Well, there isn't a dinner one. The purpose here is that the agent kinds represent a Linux executable file where it takes a command and it takes some arguments for the command. Just because all of these ones run on Deno doesn't mean it can't be Python or anything like that. Really, the only restriction here, the only requirement is that when I run this command, I expect it to provide back a standard IO MCP server that fits the interaction pattern. So interaction start, interaction await, interaction destroy, and interaction status. And if you give me those commands back, you can be anything.
Okay, so if we go back, I really want to parse this first line really carefully because I think that's the top level. Okay, create a new Codex agent. How do I know to write Codex agent?
Well, you shouldn't have to, but I didn't. The prompting's not in such a way that one time, no, probably two times, when I just said create a new agent, it picked not the Codex one, even though my tool prompting said that you should almost always use the Codex
kind, which
kind.
we talked
Yeah.
about earlier on.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was like,
okay,
almost all the time you will want to use the Codex kind. So
Right.
flatly ignore that and go and use a not the Codex kind thing.
Yeah, it's like I think what the bot's doing is over-indexing almost. I mean, what does almost mean?
Yeah, and I mean, like it just, yeah. Look, I don't really know, but if it had, if it had, this is a prompting problem because these tool prompts show up in the LLM, and then it makes decisions based on that. So what I'm trying to get out of here is I don't want to spend my time tweaking that. Like already, this is too long for my liking. And I'm not convinced that it has that big an effect on the model anyway. And I'd like to, like, you know more about prompting than me, so that's sort of why I'd like to not have this problem.
Yeah, no. This is all for my benefit because I'm trying to understand. Because we've talked about what it does.
Yeah. So I think
trying to get into the details.
Yeah. What is required is some kind of knowledge about the arrangement of the system that the LLM finds itself in. Like it needs to know about what do I mean when I say agent? What do I mean by kind? What do I mean by interaction?
Right, precisely.
Like the dictionary of the system needs to be apparent.
Precisely. That's exactly what I was about to say. So what would be a useful process, and it's probably going to be really onerous for you because you're going to be thinking, oh God, this is grind. But this is a very information dense prompt,
Hmm.
which means the load is on the person.
Yeah.
So wherever there's information dense, we really want to put it into the prompt. So instead of saying almost, I would start off by saying prioritize the codex agent unless there's good reason not to, something
All
like
right.
that.
I'll leave that to
Uh,
you.
yeah,
I also think that in as soon as we can manage it, we need to have a way to run evals where it's running tasks that we or input prompts from a human against a test repo that we expect to work a certain way, and then it needs to work the way we want, and we should be able to point the bots at fixing the prompting so that it eventually does. Like
yeah,
that
precisely.
seems to be the thing to, rather than spending our time trying to get these things right, because you and I can, I'm sure, can make the system work for us by being specific, like I just was
Yeah,
in this prompt. But we got to get to the point not where we've fixed it ourselves, but where we've pointed the system upon itself.
right, exactly. Now we're talking about what's the method we're going to go from here to there, and well, I think the best method is ingesting the code base and then giving a prompt like that and saying, how would I simplify the system prompts? Or sorry, how would I move the detail required of the prompt into the system prompts such that the user doesn't need to do it?
Okay, so
So,
that's already done for you. So the agent comes with the source code. So you're like, how would I simplify the right? The point I'm trying to make is that this tool, it is not complete, but it is technically complete. And
yeah,
so if you can tell me like the big chunky helpful things I can do for you to basically get us both working in this tool every day, because my life is really just typing codex prompts and editing code in VS Code. I can do all that in these browser tabs. And
yeah, and it seems that you don't have that many prompts that we need to like, get to a
there's
sharp
not
edge.
there's not like a new function. If you ask me for a new function, I'd be like, well, hang on, buddy, why? Like each time you add a new
Yeah.
function, it's a problem. But already we're at I don't even know. Oh, I don't know how to do that either. Shit. Shit. Sorry, I interrupted you for something I thought was half a second and then it wasn't. Anyway,
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Okay.
7,
Look,
8,
maybe a dozen.
9,
Yeah.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We have 17 tool calls.
Right. Okay. And each of those two calls we've got prompt.
Every tool call has a prompt. Yeah, it's got a message description, which is a tool description, which says, what's this thing for?
Right. Okay. Cool. So I could go in there and ask it about. Well, try it now. Create a new codex agent would be agent create. Right. So I'll say something like, how do I improve the prompt for agent create? Can it see its own prompt?
I think so.
How do
Can
I?
you see the MCP tool agent underscore create? If so, tell me the description.
This is a lot like wiring a brain. It's really fascinating, isn't it?
Yes,
Yes.
MCP platform agent creates a new agent on the current computer, optionally seeding it with, okay,
Okay.
list
So
the description verbatim. Where did he learn a
list
word
this.
like verbatim?
Oh, isn't that the name of an old floppy disk company?
Yes, it is.
Creating agent. Is that is that word for word,
I'm just
or is
checking
it?
it. Hang on, buddy. My token rate is not as high as the bots.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yep, that's word for word. That's what it is.
Right. Okay. So it's now the next thing I would say is how would you improve? Yeah. No, no, not how you improve
Listen.
that.
So
It's
I don't want to end up in a situation where you're experimenting with prompting using me as the keyboard. I want
yeah,
to
fair
give
enough.
you the ability to do that yourself.
Fair enough. I just wanted to check about the method because if I get the method wrong, then there's going to be. I'll just tell you about the method. What I'll do is there's a that information rich prompts. There's way too much load on the person to even say why single repo. If I didn't say single, is it going to create lots and so on. On this computer, why this computer? Where else is it going to go? And then treating it like a peer of yours. It's like peer. What does that mean? So basically, what you're saying about the definitions, it's like what's a peer? Do I need to say peer?
Yeah.
So that's the method I would go through. So give me a second. If we have these sessions, which we can, I think we agreed the other day, we'll make daily.
Yeah, daily would be great
Maybe,
because this kind of stuff
yeah,
takes ages, and
yeah,
I can make changes quickly and then come and meet you again the next day. Like the
yeah,
hard stuff is behind us for now until we get to I need to fix the NFS server. The
right,
hard stuff is behind us. Like this is just tweak, tweak, tweak.
yeah. So the method I suggest is in these sessions, you give the rich prompts, and then while you're asleep, query about why do I need to know so much about this prompt?
Mm,
Can I say just create an agent, check out
mm.
a repo,
Right,
and
that's
just
good.
summarize it?
That's good, but that is simply polishing like a small piece of corn that's jutted out from the turd. But I need to know, what about the whole turd? Is there so I'll give you custom instructions, right? Which
Yeah.
will be then you can experiment with making your own sys prompts and getting the agents to do whatever. Then later, like I need to know what you want next, because next can be specifying a different model to Codex. Like any of the OpenAI models will work. Next can be setting up services so that you can have more complex or richer types of
Hmm.
supporting services running in the background for you. You might say you
Well,
want cron job triggers. Like I need to know what you want.
here's a proposal then. I think for the first tranche of work, we've got 17 prompts,
Mm-hmm.
which you're saying, you know, they kind of work, they kind of don't, and you're you're kind of facilitating that by adding in much more detail into the prompt. We
Yeah.
should get rid of that first. I think we should wash through and get the prompts down to a point where we don't really need
I
that.
can see the benefit in that. My question is one of nervousness. I'm more like, well, how do we know, or are those the right functions in the first place? And can are there some functions that you think are missing? Because that can you don't want to sort of polish up the prompts when really the function itself was wrong.
Yeah, but if I only use this tool, then it's like I tried to do that, couldn't,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
and that
Oh, that'd be
that's going
awesome.
to give
Oh,
that's
that'd be
going to give
so
you
awesome.
stuff.
That'd be so awesome.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess the thing I'm kind of foreshadowing is uh, there might not be that much going your way. Um, uh, because I'll be doing this, and maybe early on there might be a few things and so on, but there should be
Yeah,
fewer and fewer things as I go through.
should be right.
And
That's
then,
the idea.
yeah, and then once we get those 17 in a reasonable state, then we start to move on to the job of making you and I work together in a common space.
Mm.
Um, but we can do that more efficiently if we sharpen this off first, which is those 17.
All right. Well, look, do you want to do it that way? That's cool. There's nothing wrong with that way. I just want you to keep an eye out for, like, those 17. They didn't come from God. They came from me. So
Yeah, yeah. And it'll also be interesting if, none are ever used or,
yeah.
as
Well,
well as,
already I'm like, well, hardly ever do I have never needed to tell an agent to create an agent kind that wasn't Codex, for one, right?
right, right.
And yet it causes confusion that there are kinds at all. So that's a good example of where I'm like, the function concept may be in error, because if we're trying to like pistol whip and train the bot to pick the right kind to use, but actually maybe that choice should be removed from it and there's only the Codex kind, or when you start an agent, it's told that it can only use, like it's forced, the MCP toolset is restricted so that it can only use the Codex agent. That's all it sees when it asks, hey, what agent kinds have I got? We've hard coded it, or sorry, changed the configuration file that makes it only aware of the Codex type anyway, which is a different way to get, a stronger way to get a pistol whipped output than prompting and all that.
Yeah.
So
Um,
I'm asking for you to be on the lookout for pieces that don't need to be there. This is as much a question about are the functions and the parameters of them even needed than it is how to get the prompting right for the functions.
yes, yes. That's the kind of the meta question, but that should shake out by trying to use the tool.
Okay,
We'll see. We'll see.
we'll see. Huh?
So right now we've got the repo that is the new agent and everything it needs in order to run, and then so you created new agents
Yeah.
and check out the single repo on this computer into it. What's the single repo on this computer?
Because inside of crumbs. I think it was this agent there. Yeah. Inside of inside of the repos part of the test computer, there is only one repo, the Xanadu repo. I can check out another one if you want, just to make
But
you feel.
that's your working space. That is the subject of what you're.
Well, the principle that I've gone for is that a computer holds repos at the top level, and
Yeah.
so here I'll clone the reasoning repo. I have to use HTTPS because I don't have credentials available of any kind. Only HTTPS can be used to clone things without any credentials. I say git clone reasoning, and now I have two repos in the computer.
Got it. And those repos just being cloned down into the Fly instance. Yeah.
No, they're on the NFS server, so they persist. They are on the long-term storage aspect of the Fly.io
Right.
infrastructure.
Oh, okay, but it's not local.
It's not You mean local on my personal
Yeah, on
machine?
your
This is
yeah.
on the cloud. This is sitting on this Fly.io machine.
Okay,
Sorry,
right,
sorry, it's not. It's sitting on the NFS server that's running on Fly.
right.
So
Okay,
this
so
whole computer here is an agent host machine, and it has got
mhm,
access to the NFS server.
right.
This here is the NFS server. So if I type, for example, cd/mount, cd computers, if I go, I think it was it mount? Yeah, if I go mount, that's that's mounting the NFS server as type NFS4
Mm-hmm.
on in this directory. So here is the list of the computers. These
Mm-hmm.
are authenticated computers where users have logged in and had a new computer created for them. This is an example of an org computer, which is not a user, it's a organization, for lack of a better word. And the test computer, which is the one I'm in now, that requires no authorization. So that's why you can't have Git credentials in here.
Okay, so treating it like a peer review, tell it to summarize and half page what the repo is about. Okay, so uh, let's ask it something a bit more detailed about the Xanadu. So
Okay,
this,
so the thing is, you got to be careful to not, because it has to land in the active prompt. Ideally, a human wouldn't be inside the agent in any way.
mhm,
So now, because the blinking
okay.
cursor is here, I can now ask stuff here, and it will show up. What do you want to do?
Um, uh, right. In summary, repo curates systemized historical Xanadu. It's like okay. Let's try something really straightforward. It's like, tell me the last file in Xanadu that was changed.
I
Right.
added
Okay.
that
I thought
because otherwise because it needs to know that it has to call the agent. So this is another area, a large area of prompting that needs to be sorted, where you need to somehow figure out how to teach the agents to leverage the agent network. Because right now, if I tell it that, it's just going to go do it itself, but we want it to use an agent to do it.
right.
So
Right.
it needs to know the mental model, and it needs to know that its job is doing that. However, that comes with a warning in that I see inside of the OpenAI Codex CLI commit history that they are lining up for subagents. What that means is that they will have in there prompting and tooling that will make the agent favor using a subagent if it's appropriate. So it's not like you have to solve that problem.
Mm-hmm.
That problem's going to be sort of solved for you. I'm just making you aware of the shortcoming that we have here, which is to say that the agentic nature of the environment that this bot is in is opaque to it right now. It doesn't know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we can hope that the Codex CLI will get a newly trained model in due course that has agentic behaviors baked into the training, the fine tuning.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
So you can see how there's a lot of
There's a
big
ton of
chunky
stuff
areas, right?
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's a
Yeah.
lot of prompting. It's a lot of prompting, and getting the prompts right for the MCP tool calls is really just the beginning. It's like, how do you make it be agentic? That's the hard bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now you're gonna come at me for some other issues as well, like the tool timeout. I think you're probably gonna want that to be like as soon as we get long running tasks, you're gonna want an agent that can wait for like days for something to finish. So you're gonna want to do something there. You're gonna also want to, I think you're gonna want a race function, which is to say, look, I fired off these 5 tasks to these 5 different agents, and I want to resume my processing when the first one finishes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now 17 has become 19, and so I'm looking for ways to drop tool calls, right? Because tool calls is not good.
Yeah. Okay, just a heads up. I'm getting close to
Close to time.
when I was meant to going up, and I'm getting lots of pings, which I've not read yet, so I don't know what those are. Right. If I can go and see if I can deal with this, and I'll ping you
Right.
if you're still around.
Okay.
Otherwise, you get back into code.
I'll stop recording.
And
I'll post this video.
yeah, sorry, man.